viewers, welcome back. In continuation to talking about improving your personality skills, today I'm going to tell you a few tips on how to become an active listener because when you are a good listener, that makes a major contributor to becoming an effective communicator. So, without taking more time, I would like to emphasize on why it is important to become an active listener. In today's high tech, high speed, high stress world, communication is more important than ever. Still, we seem to devote less time to really listening to others. Genuine listening has become a rare gift. But good listening helps build relationships, solve problems, ensure understanding, resolve conflicts, and improve accuracy. At work, effective listening means fewer errors and less wasted time. Domestically, you it helps develop resourceful, self-reliant personalities who can solve their own problems. So, active listening is an important factor in becoming a good communicator and becoming a good person. So, here are 10 different tips that can help you develop effective listening skills. Tip number one, face the speaker and maintain eye contact. Look at me when I'm talking to you. We have heard this so many times when we were young and also from your teachers or from your friends. It is basic ingredient. Eye contact is a basic ingredient of effective communication. When we talk, we look each other in the eye. That doesn't mean that you can't carry on a conversation from across the room or from another room. But if it conversation continues for any length of time, you will get up and move. The desire for better conversation or communication pulls you together. So put aside papers, books, phones, or any kind of distractions. Look at the person who is trying to talk to you. Shyness, uncertainty, shame, guilt, and so many other emotions, along with cultural taboos, can inhibit eye contact in some people under certain circumstances. That is okay. We can still stay focused by yourself. So, please maintain eye contact when you are having a face to face conversation. Tip number two, be attentive but be relaxed. So, you've taken care of making an eye contact when you're talking to a person. Now, relax. You don't have to stare fixedly at the other person. You can look away and then carry on like a normal person. The important thing in this is, which is tricky, is to be attentive, which really means you are trying to attend the other person. So, what does that mean? Be present, give attention, apply or direct yourself, pay attention, and remain ready to serve. Mentally screen out distractions like background activity and noise. There are so many people who are talking to someone and looking at that person, but singing a song which is stuck in their minds forever. So try not to try not to indulge yourself in such distractions. Try not to focus on the speaker's accent and speech mannerisms to the point where they become distractions. Because there are so many people who repeat some kind of word or fillers between sentences over and over again. Instead of attending what he or she is saying, we start counting the number of times he has said that word or phrase repetitively. Stop those distractions. Don't be distracted by your own thoughts, feelings, and biases. Tip number three, keep an open mind. Listen without judging the other person or mentally criticizing the things the person tells you. As soon as you indulge in judgmental bemusements, you have compromised your effectiveness as a listener. Listen without jumping to conclusions. Don't be a sentence grabber. Tip number 4. Listen to the words and try to picture what the speaker is trying to say. It's very, very important and works wonders for me. Allow your mind to create a mental picture of the information being communicated. Whether a literal picture or an arrangement of abstract concepts, your brain will do the necessary work if you stay focused with senses fully apart. When listening to long stretches, concentrate on and remember key words and phrases. And that's what I do. When it's your turn to listen, don't spend the time planning what to say next. You cannot rehearse and listen at the same time. Think only about what the other person is saying. Fully concentrate on what is being said, even if it is boring for you. If your thoughts start to wander, immediately reinforce yourself to refocus. Step number 5. Don't interrupt and don't impose your solutions. Extremely important when you are in a professional world. Interrupting sends variety of messages, which it may say, I am more important than you. What I say, what I have to say, or what I say is more interesting or accurate or relevant to the subject. I don't really care what you think. I don't have time for your opinion. This isn't a conversation, it's a contest, and I'm going to win. You do not want to give such wrong messages when a person is trying to convey any kind of information to you. So do not interrupt. When listening to someone talk about a problem, refrain from suggesting solutions. Most of us don't want your advice anyway. If we do, we'll ask for it. Most of us prefer to figure out our own solutions. And that's what you want when you're working for a company. We need you to listen and help us do that. Somewhere way down the line, if you are absolutely bursting with a brilliant solution, at least get the speaker's permission. Ask, would you like to hear my ideas? Or do you mind if I share a few ideas which I have in mind? That will also confirm that you have listened to the speaker really well and are thinking to help him out to solve a certain problem. Be respectful of it. Tip number 6. Wait for the speaker to pause to ask clarifying questions. When you don't understand something, of course, you should ask the speaker to explain it to you. But rather than interrupt, wait until the speaker pauses. It used to happen to me in the past where I used to be very impulsive and wanted to uh, just give a feedback even before the person completes. But then I have learned it to wait until the person looks into my eyes, which clearly gives a cue that he is asking for my input. So just make sure that you wait for that person's pause, then say something like, back up a second, or let's backpedal a little. I didn't understand what you just said, or I am trying to think and I'll get back to you on this later. Tip number 7. Ask questions only to ensure understanding. Don't try to test the person. So it's when you notice that your question led the speaker astray, take responsibility for getting the conversation back on track by saying something like, it was great to hear about X, but can you tell me more about Y? Because sometimes our questions lead people in directions that have nothing to do with where they thought they were going. Sometimes we work our way back to the original topic, but very often we don't. So Make sure that even if you're trying to go off track, you know how to bring that topic on the track and stick to the relevant information that is being conveyed in the communication. Tip number 8, try to feel what the speaker is feeling. Empathy, my friends, is the heart and soul of good listening. To experience empathy, you have to put yourself in the other people's place and allow yourself to feel what it is like to be that person at that moment in that situation. This is not an easy thing to do. It takes energy and concentration, but it is generous and helpful thing to do, and it facilitates communication like nothing else does. Tip number 9, give the speaker a regular feedback. Show that you understand where the speaker is coming from by reflecting the speaker's feelings. If the speaker's feelings are hidden or unclear, then occasionally paraphrase the content of the message. Just give a nod or show that you're understanding through appropriate facial expressions or occasional well timed huh or oh, things like that. The idea is to give the speaker some proof that you're listening and that you're following her or his train of thought, not of indulging in your own fantasy land while the speaker talks to you in the ether. In task situations, regardless of whether at work or home, always restate instructions and messages to be sure you understand correctly. Last and important, tip number 10, pay attention to what isn't said. You know what? It was studied in in recent research. It was said that words go through or convey the message 7%. Intonations of the pitch of the words used or the manner they are used in go 18%. But the rest of the communication that can be conveyed is through non-verbal communication or non-verbal cues. So pay attention to what isn't said. If you exclude email, the majority of direct communication is probably non-verbal. We glean a great deal of information about each other without saying a word. Even over the telephone, you can learn almost as much about a person from the tone and cadence of her voice than from anything that person says. So make sure that you understand to know how to read between the lines by trying to learning the knack of understanding the non-verbal signals. Always remember, face to face with a person, you can detect enthusiasm, boredom, or irritation very quickly in the expression around the eyes, the set of the mouth, the slope of the shoulders. These are the clues you can't ignore when listening. Remember that words convey only a fraction of the message. So, I hope these tips will help you become a better listener and make sure to apply these tips in your routine life that you naturally become an active listener and a great communicator. With that, I would like to take your leave and I would like to thank you for all the support. Please like, share my videos, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Till then, stay safe, stay home, get vaccinated, and stop the spread. Thank you very much.